to tonight's video. So tonight I thought we would take a look at part 1 of my Game Boy Advance collection. So let's go ahead and get started. So first up tonight, we do have the original Game Boy Advance console that came out in 2001. Now this is the white version of the console. I also own the blue one. Unfortunately I can't find it. It must still be packed away in a box I haven't opened. This doesn't come with a backlit screen either. I did have an accessory that plugs into the top and a magnified screen comes down with a light on it so you can then play it in the dark. Unfortunately I can't find that either. So it must still be in the same box as the other console. This has a wide colour screen that is 32-bit. This also doesn't come with a built-in rechargeable battery, so you will need 2 AA's to play this. Now on the top of the box, we do see the front of the screen and then the side of the console as well. And then on the back of the box, it says Game Boy powers up with 32-bit technology. And then down here it says high resolution widescreen display and up to 32,000 colours for mind-blowing graphics. Now this is what, 24 years old nearly. So back then that probably was really good graphics. And then at the bottom it says that you can connect your Game Boy Advance console directly to your GameCube to use as an additional game screen and controller. But it does actually say available in the future, so that wasn't ready to use when this first came out. And then on the top of the box, just open that up, and then inside we have some paperwork and then of course the console. So I am going to go ahead and take everything out and show you. So the first thing in the box is of course the instruction booklet. So some consumer information and precautions, a list of components, so what each of the buttons are on the Game Boy Advance console, installing batteries, some of the accessories, how to set up multiplayer, and then troubleshooting and the 90-day warranty. And then I guess this will go into another language. I believe that's German. So that's the instruction booklet. And then we also have this fold out piece of paper which is huge, and this is just the epilepsy warning which they used to put in all the older games. I believe this is now at the start of the games when you load it up. And then last up we have this poster that folds out, which I'll go ahead and do. So on the front of the poster it advertises the Game Link cable, so you can play multiplayer with your friends. And then on the back it advertises some of the games that you can get for the console. So we have Super Mario Advance, Mario Kart, Ready to Rumble, Rayman, Castlevania. I think that's really cool. So that's the last piece of paperwork in the box. So let's go ahead and take a look at the console. So here is the console, and as you can see we have a very simple button layout and design. So we have the D-pad, the A and the B button, and then just a start and select button as well. And then at the top it does have an R and L trigger button as well. We also have the Game Link cable there. And then on the bottom we have the volume control, the power on and off button, and then a headphone jack. There is the game cartridge slot, and then of course the battery compartment, because this does take 2 AA's like I said. So that is the Game Boy Advance console from 2001. I will go ahead and put a cartridge in at the end and try and show you what the screen looks like. And the last console I have to show you tonight is this Game Boy Advance SP. Now this came out in 2003, so 2 years later than the first one. I don't have a box for this because I picked this up on eBay loose. So we do have the Mario logo, and then this one flips open. And this is the metallic red console, and then we have a painted on Mario in the corner. And the button layout is pretty much the same, so with the D-pad, the A and B button, and then the start and select. We do have a different button up here, and that is the light control, because this does have a backlit screen, so you can change the brightness of the screen if you wish. I'll just shut that up. So on the top we of course have the Game Link compartment, but then here we have a new one, and this is to charge up your battery, because this does come with a rechargeable battery, which is great. So in 2 years you get a backlit screen and then a rechargeable battery as well. We have the game card slot, and then on the side we have the power on and off button, and then the volume control. Again, at the end of the video I will go ahead and put the cartridge in and show you the screen. So that was the Game Boy Advance SP console. Next up, I'm going to show you some games. I have 4 loose games and then 3 box games. So the first loose game I have is The Incredibles. I'm going to quickly put that down. All of my loose games I do put inside these plastic containers just to protect them. I can't remember where I picked these up from, but you can get like a massive pack of them for pretty cheap. So that's The Incredibles. I then have Mario Party Advance, and we have Rugrats Castle Capers. I would absolutely love to pick all of these games up boxed. I don't know if it's probably cheaper just to pick up the whole game again, or just look for a box and manual, because sometimes when you buy a box and a manual they do overcharge you, so rebuying the whole thing and then just selling the cartridges loose. This is Mario vs Donkey Kong, which of course has just been remade on the Nintendo Switch. So let's go ahead and take a look at some box games now. So the first box game I have to show you tonight is Super Mario Bros. 3, and this also has Super Mario Advance 4 on the cartridge. Let's closer look at the box. So we do have Mario in his flying cat suit, then at the back we have Luigi there. And then on the back of the box tells you a little bit about the game, and then we do have some screenshots as well. And then if I just open the top of this up, inside we have the cartridge and some paperwork, so let's go ahead and take a look. So of course we have the cartridge, and then we have the famous precautions booklet as well. But this does come with something a little bit different. This comes with this sheet that says Nintendo VIP, and if I just open this out, down here it says register now for free downloads, access all areas, site membership and more. Now this is actually for the game that I showed you, but I just got a little bit confused when I opened it up, because, hang on a minute, let me just show you the front. So we have this code that you can scratch off here, but on the back I got confused, because this does actually come with a Mario Kart Double Dash poster for the Nintendo GameCube. It might just be advertising one of their older games. So yeah, this is like, I guess like the Nintendo points that you get now, but this was their version. And then of course last up we have the instruction booklet. Hopefully my camera is close enough. So we have the contents page, and then we have the contents and some options on the start screen. Then we have the controls for the game, how to play and getting started. And then here we have some of the buttons that you'll need in the game, the goals, the replay, saving and ending the game. Then we have some items in blocks, so coins, Tanuki suit, super leaf, jump block, switch block, music box, and then we have some of Mario's moves: run, jump, crouch, swim, super jump, Entering the Pipes Side Attack. And then some more. And then Mario and Luigi, because you can play with both characters. How to set up multiplayer. The controls and getting started. God, these pages are hard to open. Using the garbage can and then playing the game. Don't forget there's 2 games on this, so it's probably showing you both games. And then we go to another language because this book is really thick. So that's the instruction booklet. And that was the first box game, and that was Super Mario Bros. 3 and Super Mario Advance 4. The second game I have to show you is actually a game I showed you in my previous video, and that is Donkey Kong Country, and I obviously showed you the remake for the Nintendo Switch. So here's the front cover, so we have Donkey Kong and Diddy Kong right there, and then on the back again it says Go Bananas on Game Boy Advance, and then we have some screenshots from the game as well. And then there's the top of the box. And then if I just try not be so loud, we have the cartridge and the manual. So let's go ahead and take a look. Here is the cartridge. Again, the consumer information booklet. And then again, I also have this Nintendo VIP poster. These are pretty cool. And this one doesn't actually have a scratch off code. You can actually see the code on this one. And then on the back of this, we actually have a Pokemon poster for Ruby and Sapphire. That won't fit in the shop, I will just go down. So that's just advertising another game. So that's the points poster. And then of course we have the manual. So we have the contents and a little story about the game. The monkey menu and getting around. The world map menu and then the controls as well. The game screen and then some of the items. So bananas, life balloons, animal tokens, and then the Kong letters that you collect during the game. Some of the barrels that you can get. And this is just some of the like actions that you do, like you can swing, jump, swim, and then you've got a hand slap as well. And then some of the available animals, and then the Kong crew here. So we have Cranky Kong, which is the older monkey. We have Donkey Kong, Diddy Kong, Candy Kong, and Funky Kong as well. Some of the baddies. And then 2-player mode. And then of course a different language, and again these manuals are massive because there's so many different languages. So that was the second box game, Donkey Kong Country. And the last game I have to show you tonight is this NES Classic game, and this is The Legend of Zelda. They did make a few different games that were NES Classics. I have this one, Pac-Man, and another one, but I can't remember what it is. So here's the front of the box, and then on the back it tells you a bit about the story of The Legend of Zelda, and then we do have some screenshots from the game as well. And then again, if I just open this up, inside of course the cartridge and the manual. Let's go ahead and take a look. So here is the cartridge. And of course the consumer information booklet. And then of course we have, like all the other games, the Nintendo VIP. Let's go ahead and open this out. This one's really stiff, I don't know why. classic games that you can get. I believe I've got the Mario one and the Pac-Man one, but you can also get Excite Bike, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber. So that's pretty cool. So that's the VIP points. And then of course we have the instruction booklet. So we have the contents and a nice picture of Link down there. We have the story of the game as well. The controls. Starting the game and the system menu. Game screen and menus, and some battle techniques that you can do with your sword and your shield. Travelling around Hyrule, and then your dungeon map there. Adventuring tips, so some of the items you can collect, so like hearts to keep your health up, and rupees, which is obviously the currency of Hyrule. Some of the items that you can use. Overworld enemies. And then underworld enemies. Hints and tips, and then an adventuring guide for beginners. So how to enter caves, getting your first sword, trek into the woods, and then the Triforce segments as well. Then final advice, and then the hotline, and then I believe a foreign language. So that is the manual for The Legend of Zelda, and that is the last box game that I have to show you tonight. I'm going to go ahead and put some cartridges in each of the consoles to show you the screen, so I am going to go ahead and turn the lights off. So I've went ahead and turned my main light off, but I have actually kept the ring light on, just because this hasn't got a backlit screen so you won't see it. I've put a cartridge in, so let's power this on and hopefully you can see the screen. So I've went ahead and put Mario vs Donkey Kong in. I'm really trying not to get any glare, so this is the Game Boy Advance SP screen. It seems like it's loaded in okay. I can kind of see on my camera what you can see. So that is the first console, so let's go ahead and take a look at the Game Boy Advance SP. Okay, so I've went ahead and turned all of my lights off, and I can't see a bloody thing, so I'll probably knock something over in a minute. So here is the Game Boy Advance SP screen, and as you can see this is running out and I don't know where my charger is. So I've went ahead and put Super Mario in this one, and as you can see the screen is a lot brighter. So you can actually change the brightness, so that's really bright, that's slightly dimmer. I'll keep on the dimmer one, I don't want to blind anyone. So yeah, there's the Game Boy Advance SP. So I want to thank you all so much for watching, and until my next video, good night everyone, good night.